Hello, everyone. Waiting for folks to join me. Then we'll have a discussion about the vice presidential debate. This is John Arvosis of America Blog, but we'll give it a minute here to see for folks to come on. And I'm going to have this come onto my other Twitter account so I can share this a bit. Hello, 1, 2, 3 people. Hi. Just waiting for a few more people to join on so I can have this discussion with a couple more. Hi, Aldo. What was that, Atia? Aitiano. Oh boy, I don't think I can pronounce that. Hey everybody, just taking a couple more seconds for more folks to come here and we'll start. I'm John Arvosis with America Blog and just sharing my view of New York, and at the same time we're going to have a little discussion about the US presidential elections and an issue regarding tonight's vice presidential debate. We've got enough folks now. All right, hey everybody, it's John Arvosis with America Blog, and as I said, we're going to have a little discussion about tonight's vice presidential debate here in the US. I thought I'd share my nice little live view of New York City while we chat. It's a gorgeous day here. What I wanted to talk about was really quick. As everybody knows, the one vice presidential debate is tonight between, I'm going to forget who they are, Mike Pence on the Republican side and Tim Kaine on the Democratic side. And one issue in particular I wanted to mention, because I thought this was rather incredible, was this morning on CNN, George Allen was on, who was the former senator and governor of Virginia, Republican, talking about tonight's debate. And he said something very interesting with regards to LGBT rights. This is George Allen, the former Republican senator and governor of Virginia. And I just want to show you what he said and then have a little discussion about this here. We'll put this on my my iPad.
Exactly. So as you know, Donald Trump is having a problem with minority voters, especially African American voters, and Tim Kaine will most definitely bring that up. How should Mike Pence respond?
Well, I think Mike Pence should respond that our aspirations in America are for everyone, regardless of their race, their ethnicity, their religious beliefs, or their sexual orientation, ought to have an equal opportunity to compete and succeed in America.
Okay, hope you guys caught that. One second, I'm going to put my mic back on while I talk to you. So the very conservative former Republican senator and governor of Virginia thinks that Mike Pence, the Republican candidate tonight, should talk about how America is for everyone regardless of sexual orientation. That means regardless of whether they're gay. Now, that one made me guffaw a little bit because Donald Trump does not have a perfect record on gay rights and LGBT rights. Mike Pence has 0% record on these issues. Now, Trump's big problem is he said all along that he wants to repeal or get rid of marriage equality, in other words, gay marriage. It wouldn't be actually repeal because it was a Supreme Court decision, but he'd want to appoint new judges that would overturn that court decision and basically make it not just illegal for gay people to get married, but it would in essence repeal the marriages that are already out there, which is really extreme. Mike Pence, on the other hand, is categorically insane on LGBT rights. It's crazy for George Allen, a Republican, to say that Mike Pence is going to go out there tonight and talk about how America is for everybody regardless of their sexual orientation. Mike Pence thinks America is for everyone except their sexual orientation or gender identity, which means transgender people. Let's talk about what Mike Pence believes. Mike Pence once wanted to cut AIDS funding and instead have the money go towards curing gay people of being gay. Yeah, let that one sink in. The Guardian did an article about this, and here's what the Guardian said when they tried to get comment on that little aspect. Pence's campaign did not respond to a request for clarity on his current position on gay conversion therapy, and there has been no evidence to suggest a shift in his views. So there you go. That's Mike Pence. Mike Pence signed a religious freedom bill last year in his own state, intended to sanction the right to discriminate against LGBT people. These are a bunch of these bills going around. You may recall that we had one in the state of Arizona that was very draconian, and finally even the governor there shot it down, where basically it gives people the right to discriminate against gay and transgender people, provided that they claim they did it for their religion. In other words, I don't want you coming into my store because you're gay or transgender and I'm a Christian. You could even apply it to ambulances. I don't want you to come into my store because, into my ambulance because you're gay or transgender. I don't want you coming to my pharmacy. So that's what Mike Pence did. Another thing Mike Pence did, Mike Pence opposes ENDA. ENDA is the federal non-discrimination law that the LGBT community is trying to get passed that would basically say you cannot discriminate in hiring and firing and promotions based on someone's status as being gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. Most people do not realize that under U.S. law, it is entirely legal to hire or fire someone or to not hire or fire someone for being gay or trans. Yes, we now have a number of state laws and a number of city laws that address this, but other than that, at the federal level, it is totally legal to hire and fire someone for being gay or trans. Mike Pence opposes the law. That would help us. The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the law that basically said gay members of the military could not serve openly. Mike Pence did not want to repeal that a few years ago. And just this year, Mike Pence opposed the Obama administration directive on transgender bathrooms. This is an issue we've been having in the U.S. of late. This controversy, mostly in conservative states and mostly fomented by Republican lawmakers, that they didn't want transgender people going in the quote-unquote wrong bathroom. That transgender men should stick in the women's room, and all these kind of crazy arguments that were just ridiculous. Well, the Obama administration finally stepped in and said, put out was it a rule or a administrative edict, a directive saying that schools should let transgender students go into whatever bathroom conforms with their gender identity. And Pence, a number of Republicans, came out against that. So that's who Mike Pence is. I mean, really, the one that really sticks in my craw the most is Mike Pence, Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate, wanted to cut AIDS funding and have it go instead to curing gays and lesbians. Now, in case you think that that's sort of an old chestnut of a concept, this idea of curing gays and lesbians, it's in the Republican platform this year, the one that Donald Trump crafted. Now, keep in mind that Donald Trump had more than enough power to stop provisions going into the GOP platform that the Russians didn't want. People were putting forth some provisions about Ukraine and the Russian invasion and annexation of Ukrainian Crimea, and the Russians didn't want that, so Donald Trump had his staff step in and cut the provisions the Russians didn't want. But when it came to provisions that were attacking gay Americans and gay Americans on whether we could marry, Donald Trump was fine letting those provisions stay in. So the Republican Party platform calls for a repeal on gay marriage. The Republican Party platform has two other doozies too. Endorsing the First Amendment Defense Act, which is a federal bill that seeks to allow businesses and individuals to discriminate against LGBT Americans on religious grounds. That same legislation that Mike Pence supported in his own state. And the Republican platform also gives a nod towards reparative therapy, which is the concept that gays can be cured. So when you watch the debate tonight, keep that in mind. I'll be very curious to see what Tim Kaine does. Tim Kaine, former governor of Virginia, Hillary's vice presidential candidate, very progressive, as is Hillary on LGBT issues. Hillary's ticket supports marriage equality, supports ENDA, supports the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, supports AIDS funding, opposed to reparative therapy, you name it. I mean, they're 100% on LGBT issues, while Donald Trump and Mike Pence are just horrific. So it's something that'll be interesting to see tonight. One of my readers had mentioned the other day that we hadn't really seen a large discussion of LGBT rights in this campaign yet, and he's right. We saw it sort of come up with the shooting in Orlando a few months ago, where all the Republicans who are anti-gay, including Mike Huckabee and all the rest, jumped up and pretended like they suddenly loved gay people, and they can't stand us, but they thought for political gain it was good to bring us up. But we haven't seen any discussion, and on the Republican side, to a degree, I can see why, because it's become not very helpful amongst Republicans to bash gays and transgender people, although it's a little more popular with the Republican base. But on the Democratic side, it does a lot of good bringing up LGBT issues. And I think it also puts the Republicans in a real box. So that's not real. What, the View? Here, I'll show you the View. Here, let me wave. That's how real the View is. There you go. Whoever said the View isn't real. It's my view. It's amazing. See, that boat's there. But I think it is a good question as to why the issue hasn't come up enough on LGBT rights in this campaign. I think the Democrats could certainly raise it a lot more. Hillary could raise it more. I'd like to see it come up during the debates. And here's to hoping that Mike Pence brings it up tonight. All right, since people are asking, I'll give you a quick little tour of the New York skyline since we're done talking about the Republican debate tonight. This is the East River, so on the east side of Manhattan. Hey, Turkey. That is the Empire State Building over there. That is the United Nations headquarters, the big square building, where they had the big United Nations General Assembly meeting a couple weeks ago. That is the Chrysler Building, the really cool pointy building right there. Empire State is over here. You can't see the World Trade Center or any of that because it's way to the left. You can't tell. Actually, I forgot. I can zoom in on here. I'll show you guys, since now we're done talking about the vice presidential debate, and I'm giving you a little tour of New York. This street here. Oops, I don't want to drop this out the window. This street here, right there, is 42nd Street, the very famous street in New York. That's the UN, as I was telling you. I'll zoom out a little bit more. There we go. And I can't think, one of these is the Trump Tower, and I've got a feeling it might even be that building, or it's one of the many Trump Towers in New York, but that one with the tallest black building on the right. I am in Long Island City, yes. Yeah, we just had I'm John Urvosis, editor of America Blog. I do a lot of Democratic political consulting here in the States, especially digital, helping people use the internet on political campaigns, on advocacy issues, and also helping companies market as well. We were just having a discussion on the Republican debate coming up. I don't know how much my pad is worth because I'm renting. Unfortunately, it rents for too much. God only knows. These things are probably worth, oh God, over $1 million for sure, I would think. There's no way that it's any cheaper than that. Anyway, yeah, we were just talking about the the Democratic and Republican vice presidential debate tonight. I just finished talking, but I can summarize for folks. We were saying how one of the Republican sort of pundits on TV today was talking about how Mike Pence, the vice presidential candidate, should get up today and talk about how important it is that in America everyone has an equal chance, whether you're gay or straight, and all this kind of stuff. And I sat there and said, what do you mean, whether you're gay? Donald Trump has a pretty lousy record on gay rights. It's 50-50, to be honest, Trump's record. But Trump does feel that gay marriage should be repealed. He wants to appoint judges that would make it so that gay people cannot get married anymore, to basically get rid of the court decision that said we can. Pence, on the other hand, the vice presidential candidate under Trump, is a religious right nutbag. There is nothing Mike Pence believes that is supportive on LGBT rights. He wanted to cut AIDS funding once and put the money towards reparative therapy, towards curing gay people. He opposes the Obama administration's efforts to help transgender people on this whole bathroom issue that's been going on. He opposes ENDA, the federal law that would make it illegal to fire someone or not hire someone or not promote them simply because they're gay or transgender. He opposed the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell because he thought the military should ban gay people. There is quite literally nothing that Mike Pence believes that is pro-gay. And the Republican platform doesn't either, which is the other point I was making earlier before a number of you came on. The Republican platform, the party platform that Donald Trump helped influence, believes in curing gays. It is opposed to gay marriage. And I'm forgetting what the third point was that I'd mentioned earlier. Oh yeah, they want to pass one of those crazy religious freedom laws that will let anybody in the country discriminate against lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender people and claim religious reasons. In other words, going off with a reporter friend of mine in town from the New York Times. Anyway, so it's a pretty obvious call tonight that if you care about LGBT rights, you most certainly should not believe that Donald Trump and Mike Pence are going to be your saviors. They're going to be disaster on our issues the same way that there are disaster on women's issues, issues for Latinos, for immigrants, for Muslims, for so many other people, for women, you name it. So, any case, I'm going to get going, guys, because I've got to get ready for my lunch in town. But glad you all joined me. And as I said, this really is a real video of New York. Hello, all. It's me, John. But I will be doing another one of these when the weather's nice. I haven't done one in about a week because the weather's been so crappy out. It just hasn't been nice. So, anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.